We're in Istanbul. Just waiting for our bags right now. Customs was actually pretty smooth because we got our visas beforehand. A good thing I checked because we did need visas being Canadian. My bag's here. Chantel's bag is not here, so the carousel has stopped, and I hope more bags come out, but if they don't, then we have a bit of a problem. So the Turkish airline baggage guys told us that the bags might be coming out of Carousel 7. So that is where I'm waiting, and I guess there may have been mix-up. They pulled them out afterwards. This is not our original carousel. So hopefully Chantel's bags are on this belt. Oh, it's here. We got our bags, we got our bags. That was a close call. So guys, we made it to the hotel at the modern Sultan Hotel in Istanbul. Time check around 6 o'clock. Nobody's up. We woke up the hotel manager to check us, well, to just make sure we're all settled, but they're gonna store our luggage, and we're just in the breakfast room, and I guess we have maybe an hour of nap before all the other guests come down for breakfast, so good night. All right, so we got 2 days here to explore the city. It was kind of a surprise layover, and we just said, okay, why not just try to check out the city as best as we can? So let's do this. So we are back on the road. We had some breakfast at the Sultan Hotel, and
it's cold today.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. We got all of our layers back on. Turkish. Anyways, we're headed to Sofia Hagia, which will be one place that I really wanted to see coming to Istanbul. And since we're not going back to sleep, might as well take advantage and start our day a little bit early. So for our first set of the day in Istanbul, it's the Sofia Hagia, and it's an interesting piece of architecture here. It's absolutely beautiful. You'll be able to see it hopefully from other angles, but it's gone through everything from the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and now the Turkish Republic. So it's also switched hands from Christianity, I think Orthodox Christianity, to Muslim, and now it's one big giant museum. So let's go inside and check it out. That's quite some view from the second level. So how did sultans live like during the Ottoman Empire? Well, we're gonna find out. This is Topkapi Palace. Oh, okay.
Number.
Number 4, BX4.
Topkapi Palace outside.
Exit.
Office. Okay. Here number.
Okay.
Number.
No tripod.
No tripod, no microphone. It was an accident.
Yeah.
So painful. So right across the street from Hagia Sophia is the Blue Mosque. So let's go inside and see how it's different. inside the Blue Mosque right now, and gotta say, very impressed with artistry, pastel colors. It's very different from the Hagia Sophia. Alright guys, and welcome to Hippodrome. And actually I was a bit surprised because when I first planned this trip, I thought that Hippodrome was a very specific thing that we needed to see. Turns out it's just really a modern square right now. In the Roman times, this whole area was a place for chariot racing, beast shows, acrobatics, but now it's just one long promenade. There's an obelisk down there that you can see. But otherwise, it's a nice place to chill. It's right beside the Blue Mosque, so it's great to kind of link that all up. But we're on to the next spot.
We're gonna go see some columns.
Some columns?
Yeah, columns.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Well, Chantel doesn't know, but we are at the Basilica Cistern. We're inside it right now, and honestly, this is a feat of Roman engineering. 336 columns, 9 meters high. This was an underwater reservoir during Roman times. So this was part of the Eastern Roman Empire or the Byzantine era. And it's just been fascinating to walk through the maze of columns that are out here. Some areas that still have water, learning about slaves that dived here, and as well Medusa heads that we found just right down below there. So definitely worth a visit when you come to Istanbul. And after the cistern, we went back to our hotel to check in. So we just rested at our hotel, got a bit of a break, and we're on a cab right now to, how do you say it? Suleymaniye
Mosque.
Mosque, but what's it called?
Suleymaniye Cami.
Yes, that is where we're going. We're gonna do our hammam and then also check out the mosque, so Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious, I love it. Guys, we totally got caught on our cab ride up to Suleymaniye Mosque. It was crazy. So we were gonna take Uber, it didn't work out, so we got a cab. And this guy seemed really friendly. He was driving really insanely fast. And then we make our way around. It seemed like we were going the wrong way, but it looked like, okay, maybe he was taking a quicker highway route to eventually turn around to get to where we need to. And when we finally get to a stop, you know, he points out aqueduct and mosque, and we're like, oh, okay, this must be it. But we look on our phones, and it's not exactly the right point. But okay, maybe we got the point wrong, the pin on the Google Maps wrong. So we're like, okay, I guess we're here. And then as we look at the meter, he said it was 65, basically 65 and change Turkish lira. And I'm like, wait a second, okay, make the math. That's really expensive. I don't know how that happened because it started off at 4, there was some traffic, but it shouldn't have been that much because Uber was only 13 to 17. So to go up to 65 was a lot. It was like, okay, shit, he probably conned us there. So that was con number 1. And then con number 2, I take out my wallet to pay. He's looking really closely at my wallet, which is really strange. And I pull out, distinctly remember, and Chantel can back me up on this, I pull out a 50 and a 20, so that makes 70, right? So I'm expecting 5 back. So I give him the 50 plus 20, 70. And then he says something big, like he needs small change. And then he gives me back a 20 and a 5. And I think what he was trying to do was saying like, hey, you only gave me 25, where's the rest of the money? But I'm like, for a second there, I was second guessing myself, like, did I give him a 20 and 5? And I think that was the game he was playing. But Chantel was like, no, we gave you a 50 and a 20. I was expecting 5 back. And it was like, no, what the hell? So we kind of got in an argument with him. If eventually what we settled on was, okay, here's the 5 back, we're getting out of here. Like, this is what we owe you, and then we're gone. He started yelling at us, and like, who knows what he was gonna do, but we just got out of the cab. So, yeah. One of those things that I never thought would happen to us. I've heard about these kind of things in countries like Brazil, but I guess happens in Turkey, so definitely have to be careful. Always make sure you make sure you double check the bills that you're giving them so they don't do this bait and switch where they switch out the 50 to a 5 and kind of make you second guess whether you gave them the right bills. And as well, watch the meter because who knows, I feel like when we got to the spot, that somehow increased the fare. And the third con I forgot to say is that it wasn't even the right spot. So, you know, we saw aqueduct and mosque, but when we looked at our Google Maps, it totally wasn't Suleymaniye mosque that we were looking for and the hammam that we eventually needed to get to. It was completely wrong, so we had to walk then over to the real mosque. So triple scam. Yeah, that was kind of a sad day. But lesson learned. Hopefully you guys don't make the same mistake. If anything, you just film the entire experience because then they know they got to be careful. I should have done that. But anyways, yep, life of travel. So we're at our third mosque today. This is Suleymaniye. It was closed by the time we got here, but we got a great chance to walk around. It was actually really, really quiet, which is nice for the change. But what was even better though is actually the other side of the mosque, which has gorgeous views of the other part of Istanbul across the bridge. So it was really cool. Amazing place to shoot, and just watching the sunset and seeing all the lights turn on was really nice. See what I can show you guys.
Okay.
But we got our lovely hot apple juice, hot apple cider before they call us in. I probably won't be able to show you any footage inside, but rest assured, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a really relaxing experience, a different spin on the spa. Now, what made us choose this particular hammam is that, one, it's one of the few hammams here in Istanbul that allows couples to be together, so male and female to be together. And the second part is that this particular hammam, being next to the mosque, actually is rich in history. It was built around the same time as the mosque, so this has been around since 1550, if you can believe it. Just take a look at what's around us here. And so that means 450 years of history and culture behind the hammam and this whole experience. Sultans used to come here, so we're gonna live it up like sultans tonight, and we're looking forward to it. So that was pretty relaxing, huh?
Yeah, it was a very thorough bath.
Yes, I will tell you more about it, but here's the aftermath. We just finished our first hammam experience. It was quite the treat. I will say though, when we first went in, we probably didn't really know what we were doing. We were just sitting in that room with a big marble table. There's some other couples basically getting their treatment, and we're just kind of sitting there waiting. And then it's a sauna in there. It's really, really hot. I think I saw 38 degrees Celsius. And yeah, so you're just sitting there and you're sweating and you're like, yeah, this is part of the treatment. I think we're there for a good 20 minutes, I would say, about 20, 30 minutes. They got us water, which was nice. So we try to stay hydrated and all that, and then finally it was our turn, and the experience was pretty cool. It's this weird mix of like massaging you. No, actually no, you start off with the scrub, a really coarse scrub to like exfoliate, and then from there it's this mix of massaging with soap as well. So it's like rubbing everything in and like relaxing your muscles, working their way from bottom to top, and then from backside to front side, so you got a bit of everything. They put the soap on you, which was really neat, and then they kind of have different massage moves where they like stretch you in different ways and work out the muscles. So it was actually quite relaxing. And then it's still obviously hot in there, so it was actually refreshing to get splashes of cold water once in a while. So that was a treat. And then to close things out, after the whole treatment stuff was done, you get back outside and you're kind of in a cool off area. They give you some towels for your head and your body, your bottom as well. And yeah, you just kind of sit there. They offer, you can purchase drinks, and you just sit there for like a good maybe 15-20 minutes just to cool down. It is much cooler in this outer room. Lights are dim, which is really nice. You just kind of relax and hydrate. And that's pretty much it. So all in all, it was about, we started at, it was about 90 minutes, I would say, about 90-minute experience. We started at 6 o'clock. And yeah, now it's about 8 o'clock, so we took a bit longer. But anyways, we're all changed and we're good to go. So we're at, how do you say, Gulhane, Sark, Sofrasi. Got a new friend. As we're having dinner tonight, and we have lamb kebab in an urn that blew up, and now this is that. So we are famished. Gotta eat. Bye. It's bazaar time. So when you come to Istanbul, the Grand Bazaar is something that everyone knows about. So what is it really like here? So we've been spending the past 2 hours really roaming around the maze of streets, corridors, and alleyways that are here at the bazaar. And it's been just a sensory overload of everything from all the vendors, the tourists that are here, the locals as well, a lot of bargaining, haggling, yelling at people, a little bit of everything. It's been really cool. What can you find here? Well, everything from bag shops, clothing shops, Turkish delight, gold and silver stores, soap shops, cafes. There's an antique section as well, so it's been really, really cool to really just soak in the sights, I think, if anything. We did buy some soap and Turkish delight to bring back home. If you're coming to Istanbul, this is definitely a place worth visiting. It's just a lot of fun. Definitely account for some time to be here. Even if you don't buy anything, I think it's just an experience unto itself.
Would you like to taste some?
Really good Turkish delight right here. We got actually a few different things. We got nougat, Turkish delight, and mixed with like things like hazelnut, dried fruit, pistachio. Some of them are sprinkled with like rose on top, really fragrant saffron. We got coffee flavor, we got chocolate in there as well. It's just kind of a more sophisticated version of Turkish delight that we know of back home. No sugar.
They also offered us tea, which we politely accepted, but we didn't end up buying any.
So fun fact, you see all these guys delivering tea and you wonder, how do they actually know where to deliver? How does a vendor actually order this tea? Well, we asked and we found out that it's basically, these are installed every couple of stalls. There's either a phone or these intercoms, and they're tied to the closest tea shop. So all you have to do is press, order your tea, and the guy comes to your shop. So it's as easy as that. So we just popped out of the Grand Bazaar and we're just walking along this local street to get out of here, and it's some sort of fashion district, fashion supplies wholesale. Kind of wild. Now this is totally where the locals really shop. So right in time for lunch, we're walking down the local markets, and it's obviously chaotic, it's crazy out there, but we passed by this doner shop, which looks pretty legit. So they brought us to this secret room, salon, I guess, where we can have our doner. So here goes. It's good beef doner. So we're now at our second bazaar. This is Misir Carsisi. I thought it'd be a little bit different, and in fact, it's actually more or less the same. So same kind of things like Turkish delight, spices, tea, gold, those sorts of things. It is smaller. The building is much newer, so it's a different flavor to the Grand Bazaar. So I wouldn't say it's necessary to do, but it's kind of a different take on what a bazaar is like here in Istanbul.
I don't know what we got. I think it's called Balick Mek. There it is. And there's a fisherman boat right behind us.
It's doing all the cooking. Is it fishy? Pretty good? So.
I don't know. Maybe need some sauce.
It's rainy and it's cold, but we're leaving the old city behind and crossing to the other side.
And just like that, we crossed over from the continent of Europe to Asia.
So coming to Istanbul, the one thing I knew I wanted to do was have Turkish dessert. And when you think about Turkish dessert, you're thinking about one, Turkish delight, but two, baklava. So we're right here in a restaurant called Karakoy Gulluoglu, probably incorrectly pronouncing that, but it's an institution. It's the only store here in Istanbul, or the only store ever, actually, and they've been around since 1820. Locals come here, you can tell all the locals are here having baklava, but it's an interesting process. You come into the restaurant, you first pay at the cashier, they give you a receipt, and then once you have that receipt, you go to the counter, and they essentially put the plate for you together with all the baklava, and you come have baklava at your table. So, excited to try this out. This is the Palace baklava. This is the mixed plate baklava, which gives you a bit of everything. So I'm excited to chat on this. This one's huge. The pastry, the honey, pistachio. Probably the best baklava I've ever had.
Don't eat it all. Leave me some.
No, it's all mine. We saw somebody else eat it, and Chantel totally thought
It was cheese, but it's not. There you go. This. I don't know.
apparently what you need to do is take the baklava and get ice cream. So the Turkish ice cream is here. You mix it with the baklava like that. And that's how you eat a palace baklava. Swearing to never get conned on a cab ride again. We're filming this whole experience with our man here. Should be okay though, I have confidence. But yeah, Taksim Square shouldn't be that far away. So yeah.
Just straight ahead.
So here we go for a ride. I was like, you going out the other side?
And
Successful cab ride, that's the way to do it. Didn't get gypped, only cost 10. I think we're doing pretty good.
we are at Gulluoglu Festival.
Well, we are here in the festival, still not really sure what it is, but I see old books, some shops, a cafe. Could be good. Things could be closed or open. I have no idea. Nothing special. So yeah. Well, this about wraps up our 2 days here in Istanbul. We're at the Old Ottoman restaurant, and we got a feast in front of us. It's been a long day of walking. We've had a lot of rain, which is unfortunate, but we still got a chance to really kind of roam the city, got to see the Taksim side of Istanbul. So that was a treat, walking down those small alleyways and checking out different shops and things like that. But anyways, hope you guys had fun watching us in our journey through Istanbul. Sadly, this is the final stop of our honeymoon, so back home tomorrow. But yeah, again, make sure you subscribe to Going Awesome Places. Had a real fun time recording all this, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, I lied. One more stop before we go. It's our last day, and decided to come out to Hafiz Mustafa. This is a dessert specialist, a little bit different from the one we went to yesterday. It does a little bit of everything. Massive selection of Turkish delight. We got all the baklava and more desserts back there. We're gonna go up in a bit, but this is dessert heaven. Turkish dessert.
Really good. Very pistachio, refreshing. Really like it.
Okay, so I think I figured out how this works. So you get your pistachio baklava and you order some cream. And so this is the cream. It's quite thick. It's not that sweet though. So what you do, and it looks like what you're supposed to do, is basically take this cream, put it in the middle, you open it up. So you got this cream. This is definitely a bit of gluttony here. Put it on top. You got your little sandwich there. And then you cut it up. This is how you have real Turkish baklava. Adds a bit more richness to the baklava, so it's not as dry. The cream itself isn't that sweet, but oh, so good. Hafiz Mustafa, they know how to do it right. We're on the cab. We just left our hotel in Istanbul and we're headed to the airport. Now, one thing I wanted to try heading back was my Uber hack. So if you haven't watched that video, check that out. But wanted to try something a little different in that what if I got a cab from the city to the airport, but same thing, instead of picking the airport as a destination, pick just a little bit outside, and I noticed a dramatic difference on the app. So to the airport would be 100 TLs, and just outside would be 52 TLs, Turkish lira. So that's about half the price. Now we're gonna give it a shot. We're on the cab right now, so we'll see if it works. Uber hack was a little bit botched. Once we got off the taxi, the guy realized that his fare wasn't 100 Turkish lira. It was actually a lot less. I think 49 or something like that. So he said, did something happen? So he didn't blame us because he thought, okay, maybe Uber glitched. And so, yeah, we'll see. He says he's gonna submit a complaint to Uber to see if he can get his 100 back, which means they might charge us extra. So we'll see, I'll find out. But it works if I feel like it's something where like, if they don't know if it's a fixed fare, here in Turkey, it's 100 lira to go into the airport from the city. So he was expecting that. So when he didn't get that, he knew something was off. So yeah, and we're off. It's time to go back home. Suleymaniye Mosque and damn it.
Pistachio. Yakala bakayım.
I got it.